with not only episode 4 of this freaky show, but we are also here with the season finale of this freaking show. The weekly podcast with a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing. I'm your host, Travis C., and with me this evening, as always,
Awkward Colin and the Freak Joe.
I'm excited for this episode. It's a great milestone for all of us.
Yeah, 1 year doing this.
I know.
Yeah.
It's awesome. 52 episodes. And it was weird because, when you think back and look back on like when this all started and when we were talking to GCR about how when episode 9 is like really that make it or break it moment for podcasts and everything, and we've exceeded that 5 times over.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, 4?
No, 5.
6.
More than
Almost,
5.
Yeah.
Going on 6.
Going on 6 times over. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for this episode. Like I said, it obviously is episode 4 of this freaky show, so I don't want to get away from what this show is mostly about, which is a celebration of Halloween and everything. But at the same time, I kind of want to reminisce, go back and think about the entire season we've had so far. With the guests we had on, some of the topics we talked about, obviously the movies and everything we've also been discussing, and things like that. And the first thing I want to go back and look at is obviously where I started in episode 1.
Oh, such a long time ago.
So long ago.
It was definitely a long time. But the biggest thing I was remembering, do you guys remember in episode 1 when we thought about if we had a goal to have someone on, who would it be? Do you guys remember who you picked?
No.
You guys suck.
I don't remember.
Well, I think you picked Van Damme.
Yeah, probably.
I picked Paul Canerico and Joey. I can't remember who you picked.
I can't remember who I picked either.
Probably Emily Dickinson. I can see him picking that.
If I could bring Emily Dickinson back from the dead to be on our show, I would.
I think he was somebody who was living.
I hope I did.
But it's obviously, whoever you picked obviously didn't have it on their show. But we still got to keep those as goals. We still got to persevere and push forward and make sure we get things like that happen. Because right now we're just a bunch of liars.
That's true. Disappointing failures.
Exactly. But with this episode, I'm going to go Facebook Live in a little bit and everything, just to kind of just interact with people on there, see who gets on there. Obviously, it's a little bit late on a Sunday night as we are recording this, so people are probably getting ready to go to bed and get ready for the morning.
Work tomorrow.
Fucking work tomorrow and everything. So who knows? We'll see if we have some fans on who want to kind of interact with us and discuss stuff with us and everything. So we'll do that. And also, one of a good friend of ours actually wanted to get involved in our show and did what we asked her to do, and kind of send us a message of her favorite or her greatest Halloween story.
Nice.
So I want to read that real quick.
Yeah.
And this comes from Shelmar. She's a friend of ours and everything. Anyways, so her message to us says, "What's happening, Travis the Awkward and Geek Cast Joe? I would love to mention to you guys my horrible experience with Halloween. I was in the 1st grade, and we were having a party at school. My mom totally forgot to give me a costume, so I ended up going as a mouse in a garbage bag. She put a garbage bag over my body and hung wilted lettuce, Cheerio box, my dad finished the box that morning, and aluminum soup cans. I was embarrassed that my costume was made out of garbage, but on the flip side, nobody else had the same costume.
That's a good thing.
That's true.
In addition to that, for 5th grade, a friend and I dressed up as Milli Vanilli.
Nice.
I was the one with the bandana. I could not even tell you what his name was. This might be why I'm always second-guessing my costumes. And she wants to know which one of us, she wants to know which costume do we believe was worse, dress him as Milli Vanilli or dress him up as a mouse in a garbage bag.
I feel like a mouse in a garbage bag is, it was just too early. I was actually just reading through a list of costumes that should be popular this year, and Pizza Rat was on the list. So I'm saying probably Milli Vanilli was worse.
I was going to say Milli Vanilli was worse just because it was Milli Vanilli.
Yeah.
I don't even know, I know that they were a band or whatever, But the only thing I can think about with them is, did either of you ever see Sacha Baron Cohen's Bruno?
No.
There's a scene in it where he talks about basically blowing Millie from Millie and Vanilli.
I like how not only did you mention that, but you actually did the motion of fellatio, if you will. Which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't realize this, we are all three actually together for this. Joey was actually in town for a special event. And he stopped over for the evening and figured, how do we make this season finale more special by doing it all together?
Yeah, doing it live-ish.
So, as we all sit here and discuss it, we get to do it in person, which we've only done one other time this entire year, which was probably one of my favorite episodes when we went and got breakfast at the Fire Pit Bar and Grill.
And sadly, Joey missed that this morning.
I know.
He did.
We couldn't get our butts out of bed early enough.
That's all good.
And by we, I mean Lady Science.
If all else fails, blame somebody else.
Yep. So I looked up Millie Vanilli.
Not one of them have a bandana.
Nope. But they do look like an African American version of the twins, the ghosts from The Matrix, which I never knew before.
Perfect. Oh, jeez. But
they're Germans. They wouldn't be African American. That'd be.
So what are they then?
German? I don't know.
Oh,
African German?
What is that then?
No idea. My world is too small, obviously.
But getting back to the episode where we ate breakfast at Fire Pit Bar and Grill. Now that was the very first day that they had the breakfast, right?
Yeah.
That was day one. That was the inaugural, the official grand opening of the breakfast. And I gotta tell you, it was probably I wouldn't say life changing, not really eye opening, but I mean it was fun. I mean it was nice doing those on location shows that I definitely want to do ahead of time, and actually sit down finally with Lisa and talk to her about her the achievements that her and her husband went through to create that restaurant. Was absolutely amazing, and the food there was absolutely amazing. I actually spoke with her a little bit yesterday about some of the things they're doing, and she gave me an updated calendar of what's going on there that obviously I do not have on me because I think ahead.
Yeah, actually quite a bit.
But what I could tell you is I do remember that obviously every Monday and Wednesday they do have burgers and beers for $6.99. We stress that quite often, as well as having breakfast every Saturday and Sunday from 7 to 11. They do have all you can eat crab legs New Year's Eve coming up, so if you don't have any plans for New Year's Eve, you can stop over to Fire Pit Bar and Grill for all you can eat crab legs. That is a reservation, first come, first reserve basis, I guess. Yeah. And then every second week of the month, I believe they're doing barbecue ribs.
Damn.
And what's also amazing was for this month of November, they're actually doing like a German-style menu, and I actually had schnitzel for the first time in my life.
Nice. How was it?
It was absolutely amazing. They had homemade German potato salad. They had sauerkraut, and they had a fucking schnitzel that, I mean, it blew my fucking mind and made me regret never having schnitzel before. And this thing was fucking huge. And, obviously the month of October is coming to an end, so that's going to fall at the wayside to make room for the next event coming in November, which I am not privy to yet. But as soon as I know, everyone else will know, obviously. And I do know that with the Chicago Cubs going to the World Series,
It's so exciting.
Yeah, first time since 1945, they're going to do a Chicago Cubs themed menu. So that's going to be pretty cool too. So that'll be exciting to be a part of. I'm going to help them with that, use my creative thinking to come up with some names and everything. Food-wise, that's going to be on them because I can't cook for shit. I wonder if that mouse clicking can be heard.
Oh, probably.
What the fuck are you doing?
Playing.
You motherfucker. So they're going to put together that. for the World Series that starts on Tuesday, which is going to be exciting to watch.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited.
I might actually watch it.
Yeah, it's a historic thing, you know. It's something that, you know, hasn't been seen in 71 years, you know, so that'll be exciting to watch. I do believe that Cleveland is looking to have Charlie Sheen throw out the first pitch.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Really?
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
I'm hoping that he actually comes out to the whole Wild Thing theme song and cuts his hair like Bond from Major Leagues.
That would be amazing.
Still never seen that movie.
I'll still probably miss it, though, because we'll be driving back home.
No.
Well, the game, I think the game's at 7 p.m. Our time, so it'll be 8 p.m. your time Tuesday.
Yeah. We might just make it there in time for the start. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'd be hugely pumped if I can make it back in time for that.
Yeah?
Yep, it'll be the first game I watch all season. Because it won't matter anymore. At least they've made it to the series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, looking at the description of episode 1 and everything, it shows that we actually did talk about the World Series last year.
Did really?
Talk about the World Series, talk about Battletech and Digimon.
Digimon.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, it's been a long time.
Oh, yeah. And then we also see they joined us next week for Discount Donuts, our favorite wine pairings, and socks.
Yeah, that was mostly
One of the
lies,
sandals
as I
that
recall.
I think we actually did it so it wouldn't be a lie.
Oh, yeah. I think you're right.
Didn't we talk about kangaroos, too?
I think so.
Yeah, you talk about making a kangaroo out of a ship, or a ship made out of like kangaroo
What?
fur.
A ship made out of kangaroo fur?
Yeah, it's like the seats or something were like actual kangaroo.
Oh, my goodness.
I feel...
I have absolutely no memory of this.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, it sounds like something I've
I don't know how you don't remember. It was your idea.
Mine?
Oh, it was Collins?
It was Collins.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're talking about how they're like pouches and shit. They're made from like real kangaroos, and I think it was episode 2.
I don't know. I do know they're like deer in Australia.
Just all over the place.
Yeah, people like eat their like make soup out of them and
Yeah.
kangaroo sausage.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Episode 2, Tech Notables and Nonsense. In this episode, the game talks futuristic toys, Veterans Day, hashtag Red Cup Gate, and the perfect wine for cannibalizing your buddy after a horrific plane crash.
Excellent.
Oh, the past.
I don't remember what was Red Cup Gate.
I don't know.
I've seen that. Tag.
Wasn't it Starbucks?
Yes. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Jeez, that was just last year.
Yeah.
God, I thought that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, episode 3. In this episode, Freakin Crew discusses the sorrow over the recent terrorist attack throughout the world.
Yeah.
That was Paris. Yeah, that's when that happened.
Yeah.
We also discussed bad booze, great beer, Battlefront, and other nonsense.
Jeez,
That's where Malort got brought up.
Malort got brought up.
God, this is a really long year. Do you have any Malort? I can go for some Malort.
There's Malort. It's up there.
Oh, Joe. Why would you bring it up?
Oh, jeez. And then, yeah, and actually back then, this is when we actually did the logo contest.
Amazing. Oh my goodness, there's just enough Gypsy Curse left in that bottle for like 1, maybe 2 shots.
Yeah,
Color preference?
No. Nope.
I'm going to go Facebook Live now.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I'm going to make this. Hey, look at that shit.
Oh god.
I'm going to turn it this way, though.
I'm doing this by
I like
myself.
this. No, yeah, you're doing this alone.
Yeah, you definitely the one that suggested you wanted it.
That's fair.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you watching right now,
Oh, that's such a pleasant smell.
Freak Joe's going to do a shot of Malort. I'm surprised it even smells. Normally you never get a smell of it. Yeah,
There was just 1 shot left.
It's not even a full shot either.
No.
Oh my god.
Wait, we have to get something. Oh, never mind. We're not getting something.
Yeah, no, I'm going to drink my ginger ale.
Oh, like a chaser?
No.
Oh,
Take a picture.
I've never done a chaser in my life.
Joe,
Oh.
I just want to let you know, this was the first bottle, wasn't it?
Yeah, that is.
I bought this bottle after you guys mentioned it,
Mm-hmm.
and we have officially finished it off.
I am.
As soon as Joe
know
drinks
what?
that shot.
I don't know any Swedish.
Shalom.
Sure, that's Jewish, but I'll take
It
Hebrew.
worked.
I'm trying to remember. There is an actual Swedish thing
But why
slasha,
Swedish?
What? Because it's a Swedish liqueur.
But is it?
Yeah.
Well, there's that. Well, while Joey's looking up Swedish thing, I'm going to continue to go through our episodes here. Episode 4. This episode of Freakin Crew has its first guest. And I believe this was GCR. We talk thankfulness, childbirth, and holiday foods we like to eat. We also discuss Black Friday, Malort, yes, again, and Bone Tomahawk.
We have talked about Malort a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, Bone Tomahawk!
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
I own that movie, never watched it.
Oh, what are we doing tonight? Why? It's not like we're recording an episode or anything, right?
Oh,
Hey, I'm
geez.
down to watch it if you want after.
Oh, it's Skull. Skull.
Vodka?
No, just that's the SKAL is the
Well, that's
like to your health or cheers.
Cheers!
Skull.
I'm going to move over to my actual Facebook because,
I think the dog just farted because it just got really stinky right here.
yeah, sure, blame the dog.
It was you, wasn't it?
Well, me. Anyways, I'm good. Let me go live on my Facebook since we're not getting anything on this freaking show.
Sounds good, man. Oh man, this is just. I'm really sucking myself out.
You haven't done it yet?
No.
Oh, come on, bro. He's
Oh, okay, just
tongue tasting it.
I didn't actually do that.
Just do it, man.
Oh, I've never actually done it out of a cup before.
We
I've
need
always
a
drank it right
we
out
need
of the bottle.
cheers for.
Yeah. It's like I told you with all shot glasses, and those who are listening, I'm going to tell you exactly how you take a shot. You inhale.
Mm-hmm.
Take a deep breath in.
Mm-hmm.
Take the shot, swallow it, and then slowly exhale out through your mouth. Change your life forever.
It's actually
Best way to always take a shot. Now, again, I'm going to tell you guys, in order to take a shot the right way, okay? Take a deep breath in, hold your breath, and you take the shot. You drink the shot. As soon as you're done drinking the shot, you slowly exhale out. That way, you don't get fucked. There we go.
You did it.
Oh my God! No, you held it too long. God, don't breathe it on me.
oh, that's as bad as I remember.
Oh God, it doesn't get any better.
No,
But we have officially finished off the bottle.
The bottle is now gone. Yeah, the Malort has been finished off now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Oh, and yes, Matt, I did say finale wrong. Thank you for pointing that out. I think I put finally.
You did.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
I just now. I mean, I saw it when I opened my
Did you see
iPad,
it?
but I wasn't going to say it
Yeah, fuck it.
until afterwards.
It's better I'm corrected.
Oh, that is just pain. Okay, I'm good.
I think he's regretting it.
No,
You're
I've never regretted it.
For those of you who have missed it, Geek Cast Joe just took a shot of Malort. Not only a shot of Malort, the last shot of the bottle that Colin purchased not over a year ago, but last year.
Close to a year
Yeah,
ago.
because we had it New Year's.
Yeah.
So it's finally done. Matt told me to suck it.
I'm pretty sure it was like
So there's that.
the first weekend after we mentioned it.
It had to be. Episode 5. On this episode, this freaking crew discussed baseball, Zuckerberg, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Zuckerberg.
This is the episode where I think we actually... Well, first off, we talked about how Toronto... I think it was Toronto was doing all these, if David Price was staying, I would do this.
Pricesright.com or whatever.
Yeah. And then I absolutely... and then with Zuckerberg, I think it was talking about how he started giving money away and shit like that, too. Mm-hmm. And then we started talking about Marvel for the first time in this episode, too, so that was pretty cool. David Scott said that's some nasty shit. Well, dang, yes, it is, David. Of course it is. If you show up next weekend, maybe you'll find that out for yourself if we get in our battle. This weekend, actually, so that'd be pretty fun cool. Shit, what else is there? Episode 6, Everything Falls Apart. In this episode, this freaking crew talks with Entropy.
That's
We
right.
had Entropy on, so that was pretty cool.
That's a really great joke in the title there.
I don't get that. I never understood that. What was that?
The concept of entropy is that everything is slowly becoming more chaotic, so that eventually all atoms and everything will just not have enough energy to stay together in bonds and will just be a collapsed mass of just individual particles.
Oh, so that's like a smart person humor.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, yeah.
That's science shit.
See,
yeah.
I looked at it as like, I think deep down, Geek Cast Joe just insulted our guest.
Nope.
I mean, it was Matt, so I mean, I would get the whole falling apart thing because it's fucking Matt.
What?
I'm like, but now I get it. Now I get it. Now it's funny.
No,
But
no,
do
yeah,
you-
it was literally the definition of entropy, basically.
Oh shit! All right, let's go to episode 7 here real quick and figure out what we talked about there. Okay, Graham was on.
That's right.
Right, he's supposed to be on this one too, but hope Walking Dead was worth it.
I heard it was the best episode this season. I mean, sorry,
I don't
to
give a
date,
shit.
because
I'm
it
not-
would be the first episode this season. So of course it's the best one so
I'm not the
far.
Walking Dead fan.
That's fair.
They all could be the greatest ones. I still wouldn't give a shit.
That's fair.
The only zombies I care about is zombie with a shotgun, which they have an
Probably a good
Indiegogo. So you can go to our website, justfreakshow.com, and find that Indiegogo to help them out. Episode 7, Zombie Apocalypse Part 1. In this episode, this Freakin Crew learns about survival from our local Z-Poc expert. So that one's pretty cool.
Yeah, I learned the phrase Z-Poc.
And Phil
That's
McCracken Jr. says, bring Graham back. I tried. Graham was supposed to be on tonight. Ask him why he didn't show up. Find
Fishing.
Graham Parker. Tell him why he didn't show up tonight.
Fishing.
Not my fault. Oh shit! Episode 8, the Festivus for the rest of us. Welcome to our Christmas holiday special.
Oh,
This
shit.
one is
So good.
Talk about the best, worst gifts, favorite Christmas movie music, and other festive things. This
I
one,
kind of forget that we started this show in the end of the year.
Right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Right. Well, at the end of the year doesn't
Oh,
feel
fuck.
8 weeks away. You know?
Kyle,
Yeah.
remember I Want to Rock You Hard This Christmas?
Yeah. I think we should listen to it.
Oh, God. Phil says Graham didn't show because he's a dick. That's correct. Now he won't be a dick. He just had priorities with recordable
Other things.
TV shows, so... And then finally, episode 9, we freaking made it. Like GCR said, episode 9 is that breaking point on a make it or break it situation. And in this episode, the Freakin Crew talks about the tragedy and joys of 2015,
Yeah.
which I think, honestly, we talked about more tragedy than joy on that episode.
Yep. And Serial Killer 2016 was worse. So,
Yeah.
kind of miss 2015 now.
We also talked best and worst of 2015, our hopes for 2016. We also made episode 9, so we got that going for us.
Nice.
Yeah, I think this is actually, I think this episode might be the one. I think it's the same week we launched our new logo, too.
I think it was.
So, there's that. So episode 10 real quick is here. Zombie Apocalypse Part 2. Graham showed up for this one. This week, crew welcomes back our resident Z-Poc expert, Graham, for Part 2 of his wisdom sharing. On this episode, we talk doomsday prepping, favorite zombie films, and general shenanigans.
Well, gender shenanigans are always allowed.
Yeah, I mean, we were supposed to do that tonight, but...
Oh, and then F and Epic. Sorry, I'm not.
yeah. Oh, that's right.
Somebody's jumping ahead here.
Just a little bit.
Go ahead, you take this one. Go ahead.
What?
John.
No, I was excited.
Oh, yeah. Well, F and Epic, episode 11, Freakin' Epic. This week, the Freakin' Crew sits down with F and Epic, a local metal band from Chicagoland. Talk influence, experience, and music. I like them. I actually like, and I'm not a big death metal fan or
Right.
a hard metal fan or whatever you want to call them, but
They're enjoyable.
they were amazing. And I went to go see them in actually live, and
Yeah,
it
we
was,
did.
It was a lot of fun. I peed a little. It's kind of scary with the yelling, but they know what they're doing. It's pretty fucking cool. So you have to go to episode. Oh, I gotta go down and go to the newest ones because apparently we can't get them all on one screen because there's just so many of them.
Yep.
So many awesome episodes.
So many epic episodes. Episode 12, Freaking Marvel Comics. This week, this crew sits down with Joe Swanson, not the cripple from Family Guy.
Good thing you point that out.
Geekcast Base from Geekcast Live, and this is the one and only show that Rob actually been on, right?
Yeah.
We gotta get him back on again.
That's a good idea.
We pretty much freak out about every little detail from the movies right to this, next like Teenage Warhead. You know, Daredevil, or not Daredevil, fuck Daredevil. Deadpool is a free movie on Comcast.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, I watched
That's
it today.
awesome.
Nice.
I actually watched it today. It was an enjoyment of my day. Right?
I really liked it.
Yeah.
I fell asleep last time I watched it, though.
Phil just told me that he just hung up with Graham. He had a Hillary rally this evening. That's why he couldn't make it. Oh, God. I'm liking that.
Oh, my gosh.
I want to get Phil on the show.
Nice.
He has some words. Episode 13, Get Lucky. This week, the Freakin Crew discusses Flint, Michigan disaster, a miraculous invention, feminism, and superstition.
Well, there you go.
I Get Lucky. Do you remember why he titled it that?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, we'll move on. Episode 14, the Oscar card trip episode. This is the same fucking episode that it made us sound like we're in a gymnasium.
Yeah.
Talking. Something with our recording on mine, Colin's end. I remember that. I think this is also the same episode. Yeah, we talked about Andre the Giant.
Yeah, twice apparently.
The Bob Uecker interview. I remember we actually think we played that live through the show. So
I think you're right.
Cool. Then obviously episode 15 is part 2 because we don't know how to simplify shit. Yeah, so we just talk and talk and talk. I think that episode 14, was the one where Derek's like, this show's almost an hour and 45 minutes long. It's like, well, yeah, fuck it, right?
It happens.
Right.
It does.
Episode 16, Fourth Wall Rambling. We talk about Deadpool. Geek Cast Joe's embarrassed to say he hasn't seen it yet. The other guys don't spoil it. Apparently it's very good. Stop what you're doing and go see it. Good. We also talk general Marvel love and Phase 3 goodness. So that was a good episode too.
Speaking of Phase 3,
Yes.
I'm just really excited. The Guardians of the Galaxy
Teaser.
trailer looked really good, especially with toddler Groot.
Yeah.
Excited.
I saw
So
a little
cute.
snippet of him.
I haven't seen it yet. I'll check it out.
I'll have to watch
I
it.
did see the trailer for Logan, which I was
Yes, that looks
about.
amazing too.
Did you? I found out today. I think it happened on Friday that the director of Deadpool 2, the director of Deadpool 1, quit. He's not doing Deadpool 2.
Jeez.
He had differences with Ryan Reynolds.
Huh.
So, fun fact for you guys out there, right? Okay, let's move on.
Hopefully they can still make it as good as the first one.
Right.
I think the problem is I don't think the director kind of wanted to get away from what the first one was a little bit, but Ryan Reynolds wanted to keep it how the first one was because that's what made the money.
Gotcha.
So 17 Bantercast. This week the Freakin Crew banters about nonsense. Geek Cast Joe has finally seen Deadpool, so that's neat. Also this week, Fuller House comes to Netflix. Stay tuned for Daredevil this freaking May. Finally, if you're anywhere near Peartown this weekend, come on down to Throwbacks to hear Entropy and FN Epic.
I remember going to that show.
Yeah, that was last year. Don't even worry about it now. I looked at the camera like, yeah, you should check it out, but that's not happening anymore.
This is the longest show title I've ever written, I think, for this. Holy smokes, Batman. Leo won the Oscar.
Yeah, that's when we found the results and I won.
That's true.
I know, right? I'm fucking awesome. This week the Freakin Crew talks about the Oscar results. Travis won the Oscar result debate, and Colin and Joe tied for last. There was something you guys are supposed to do for that because you lost.
I think we're just supposed to buy you a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the Fire Pit Bar and Grill.
Yeah. We go either Monday or Wednesday, and I get burgers for $6.99 as well.
That's true.
Oh god, Fuller House and the Great Music Show. Our friends at Entropy and Epinephrine put in last weekend, which was fun. Episode 19, Conspiracy. This freaking week, the crew talks about conspiracy theories. Naturally, the show didn't record properly because we clearly angered a vague but menacing government agency by discussing the topics we discussed. Now, this is the video you put up in replacement, right? That literally the guy plays one note on the piano, then stares at the camera.
Yep.
That was the scariest fucking thing.
It's 4 minutes and 33 seconds of whatever noises the audience makes.
That was...
I would love to see that one perform live. I would bring a violin.
Yeah. God. What now happened? It didn't record, or...
I don't remember what happened.
I wonder if we got that raw... There's no raw footage, right? It's just gone.
I don't know.
We'll have to find that.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Some investigating, people.
Hey, Justin Snedden's on. Hey, Justin. Chad's on. Hey, Chad. Episode 20, Aaron Go Bra. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Bra? Perfect. This week, our freaking crew talks about St. Patty's Day, and in a special holiday episode, we talk about family tradition, St. Patty's Day, and other nonsense. Do you remember what episode, oh, fuck, what was it? I just had it and lost it. You know what? Never mind. It was on Geek Cast Live, not this freaking show. So, where are we at?
About 30 minutes.
Oh, we're fucking good.
Yeah.
It's the season finale. We go a little bit longer. Derek could live it up.
Yep.
Oh, perfect. Episode 21, first-person shoot-em-up games. This is where we talk about Colin's favorite movie, Hardcore Henry.
Favorite movie of all
Yeah,
time?
fuck that stupid shit.
This week, this freaking crew talks about movies, starting with the critique of Hardcore Henry. The crew discusses the merits for first-person films and video games. We also spend some serious time discussing the upcoming Batman vs. Superman, which I bet Hardcore Henry was better than Batman vs.
Yeah,
Superman.
it was too.
And the crew trips to C2E2 last weekend. That was a lot of fun, too. Which all those pictures from C2E2 are on our website, thisfreakingshow.com, under this freaking gallery.
Yeah.
Which was new as of episode 21.
Yeah.
We finally got it up.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was...
Man, it feels like so much stuff has passed.
Right?
This year has been... I'm just happy that we've met so many fucking people. And episode 22 right here is where we did the MLB bracket. I actually gotta look that up and find out who's closer. I think Ryan was more accurate than I was.
Was he?
I think so.
Oh my goodness.
I'll have to double check that. I could be wrong, which, I'm not wrong a lot, but I'll double check that. Episode 23, WrestleMania 32. This week, the Freakin Crew talks about wrestling. Let's just say there's a reason he called it Billy Mays. And you're the ShamWow guy.
Wait, what?
What the fuck was that?
I honestly don't. Oh, somebody said that on the show, and I don't.
I know I said that, but I don't know why I said that.
I guess you just have to re-listen to the episode.
I'm gonna have to re-listen to episode 23. Anyone, if you guys remember episode 23 where I said something about there's a reason he was called Billy Mays and you're just a ShamWow guy. If you remember that, let me know. If not, I'll go back and listen to it.
That is a great line.
What the fuck? Oh my god, okay.
What?
Just out of the corner of my eye, I just see.
Oh no. No, I just got a shaky leg. I'm not.
I mean, that's fine, but fucking keep your arms above the table. Holy shit.
Hand check, fellas.
Oh, fuck. Episode 24 is onto a shotgun. This is our first interview with Paris Hilton.
I see what happened.
What the fuck did I do there? What's Hilton's freaking... Oh, my God.
Hilton, I believe, is his
Hilton
first
Ruiz,
name.
right? Yeah, not Paris Hilton. Oh, my God.
Sorry, Hilton. If you're
My
listening.
bad. I mean, we're not friends with
Although
Facebook.
Paris Hilton, if you're listening. We'll use your coattails or whatever.
Yeah. This week, this freaking crew talks about Zombie with Shotgun. This badass retelling of an old zombie story focuses on a man in the midst of transformation and his will to fight. Check out the web series below and be sure to go back to the Kickstarter. It's not a Kickstarter anymore, though. It's a good Indiegogo.
That's true.
Which is linked to our website, thisfreakingshow.com, so go ahead and check that out.
Yep. I tell you, I've really gotten really lazy with the show notes.
I don't want to say anything, but yeah. I wouldn't call it laziness. I would just call it the lack of internet signal you get out where you're
That
at.
is true.
Yeah.
Sometimes I got to do it on my iPad. It doesn't work as well.
Yeah. This is probably one of my favorite episodes, too, Avengers vs. Justice League.
That was a good one.
I think it came out as a tie, didn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, this week.
That seems like so recent.
This week, this week, you talked Battle Royale
6
between
months
DC's Justice League and Marvel's Avengers. The answer
No
may
way.
surprise you. Yeah, it came out. I think it came out as a fucking tie. That
That's insane.
that was like a major disappointment. That's like going to bed with a porn star and it ended in like 10 seconds. Like a major fucking disappointment.
What the hell way to put it?
I mean, it's still a good show. Go check it out. But it's, nonsense and shenanigans. Okay, episode 26. This is where we actually took questions from I
Somebody.
guess, viewers, listeners, fans. This week, the Freakin Crew just hangs out and talks shop about Hollywood death, well-aged actresses, and some of our favorite things. Oh, geez. Joe's favorite novels, Stephen King's Dark Towers, which is going to be a movie.
I'm so
Idris Elba.
Hearts in Atlantis, The Hobbit, The Return of the King, and Ra Salvador's Chronicle.
Yep. Yeah, no, R.A. Salvatore.
Yeah, whatever.
Canticle.
There you go. Awkward Comics' favorite shows: Supernatural, Veronica Mars, House Monk, Psych, Smallville, Dexter, Rescue Me, and Suits and Archer. Place I want to visit for travesty is every baseball stadium across the U.S. in one fell swoop. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I know, right?
I'm actually really excited about that idea.
I really gotta do that. I got planned to go to some other state this year for it. Episode 27, first interview with Standal for Rebirth of a Gangster. This week, this freaking crew. Oh my god, I can't fucking talk.
It's alright. We all have those moments.
This week, this freaking crew debriefs our indie Comic Con experience. See, that's the thing. If you have a podcast, you should be able to speak. I mean, the whole point of the podcast is for talking.
Yes.
Meh.
Debriefs their indie Comic Con experience. Oh yeah, that's when we went to Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
That can't have been that long ago.
Yeah, it was episode 27.
I think you're all lying to me.
Yeah. We also talked to the outstanding CJ Stando, Rebirth of a Gangster. If you like what Stando has to say about his comic, you can find out Kickstarter here, which I think that Kickstarter is also done.
Yeah, it's long done.
Yeah. Episode 28, Civil War. Also Captain America. Spoiler alert, this week this freaking crew talks about Captain America's Civil War. We all loved it. Let us know what you think with using the hashtag freaking saying. Wish that hashtag can still be used on Twitter and Facebook. Always available on Twitter and Facebook. Hashtag freaking saying. Episode 29, Spring Fever. This week the fellas discuss first dates, eHarmony questions, and other nonsense. Mentioned in this show was Zombie with a Shotgun and Rebirth of a Gangster. Nice. Yeah. Okay. God. I barely remember the first date one. Oh, no, I do. Oh, that's when I read all the eHarmony, like the first date questions and shit.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That was 6 months ago?
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Episode 30, The Weird Laws. That's when I played the Weird Law game, and I fucked up on the very first question because I gave you 4 choices, not one of them with the right answer. So that was pretty fucking cool.
Way to go there, Joe.
This week, this freaking crew talks weird state laws. Our Geek Cast Joe rejoiced to be done with school for now, and the guys bring a whole new segment, Week Freak. And that lasted, didn't it?
The show's lasted longer than that.
Where they bring in what they've been freaking about this week. I guess we still do it, but it's been episode 30 since we've done that.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't feel that
Is
long.
it right? It does not.
We started it then. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, we don't do it consistently. I mean,
Right.
It's not like what you're geeking on with Geek Cast Live. You guys actually commit. We do. Episode 31, Memorial Day. This week, this freaking crew talks Memorial Day. Geek Cast Show realizes he doesn't know much about Memorial Day, so Travis D. helps fill us in. And our listeners in on some crucial details. In this episode, we also discussed the recent zoo incident and the Disney conspiracy.
Oh, yeah, the zoo incident.
Was that...
I'm pretty
Disney
sure it was
conspiracy.
Harambe.
was that the gorilla thing? Was that
I'm pretty
Memorial
sure.
Day?
Yeah, it would have been.
I can't believe that was that long ago.
But what is the Disney conspiracy?
Oh, how all the Disney movies are all connected. See, I can remember that, but I can't remember the fucking gorilla dying. So there's that.
Harambe!
For those of you listening or watching, tell me what your favorite episode was. Share that with me. Episode 32, Bad Choices and Cosplay. This week, the feud talks about the Stanford rapist, politics, and cosplay. What the fuck?
We have a lot of breadth and very little depth in this show sometimes.
Oh my god.
And sometimes we have too much depth and no breadth.
Our guest, Super Casey, couldn't join us, but we like to think she was here in spirit as we talked about our experiences at conventions.
It feels like she
remember
was there
having
in
her.
spirits
Yeah.
later on. Actually, immediately afterwards.
Mentions in the show, Super Casey zombie with a shotgun. No comma, no period.
I must have posted that from my iPad.
Yeah, hey, it's up there. That's all that matters, right?
Yep.
Okay. Episode 33 is when Super Casey actually showed up. So Super Casey finally showed up. Hey, Dana. This week, this free crew sits down with Super Casey. We talk cosplay, cosplaying, and cons, as well as conspiracy and charity in the cosplay community. Super Casey's actually really excited to come back on next season, which I'm really excited to be doing that
Is
too.
she?
Oh, absolutely. For those of you who keep tuning in and wondering what I'm doing, we're actually recording season finale episode of this freaking show. And I figured, why the hell just do it on a regular recording when I can do it on Facebook Live for everyone to look at me and watch me as I talk. So there's that.
You still have to listen to the actual podcast.
Oh, yeah, you definitely got to listen to podcasts and everything, because there's a good chance you're not hearing anything but my voice and that mouse clicking. So there's a good chance you could be missing what Joe and Colin are saying, so make sure you check out the show, as well as the other 51 episodes that came before this, as well as the thousands of episodes come after. So there's that. Anyways, Martin Graham is watching. Martin, how's California? Hope everything's good.
You said Graham. I was like,
Oh, not Graham.
really?
No, not Graham Parker. He's too busy watching Walking Dead. Yeah, I'm really excited to get Super Casey back on here too and everything. I follow her on Facebook, and she's been like really busy doing all her conventions and everything, which is pretty cool and good for her.
Yeah.
Episode 34, A Night at the Theater. Wow, I can honestly say I don't freaking remember what we talked about this week. Something about movies. Anywho, this is a freaking blast.
That's what I was laughing about.
What did we talk about that episode?
I have no idea.
Oh, shit. I kind of want to find out, but anyways. Danielle said, howdy, love bug. Hi, Danielle. I miss you. Hope everything's going well with you. I'm going to like that because you called me love bug.
I'm like, yes, like, is this a Harry Potter movie? I'm like, no, but you would think it is.
Just because he's in it doesn't make it.
Did you just pick a random point at episode 30?
Yeah, I did.
Breakdown because of all the goofy shit he's able to do. And the fact that he farts in the beginning.
What the fuck are we doing?
I don't know.
Go back a little bit.
Oh, back a little bit?
Google doesn't have it.
When I was in the Navy,
Stay with me for a minute.
I had never seen Top Gun, and I was told I shouldn't even be allowed to be in the Navy because of it.
But I have seen it since then, and I got to say, that is an amazing movie. It is really good.
Yeah, I've never seen
And
it.
I probably shouldn't give you so much crap for Independence Day. The only reason I've really seen it is when I
I want
was
to
in
give
high
you crap for
school.
Independence Day.
We had a
haven't
sub.
seen it.
His name was Mr. McQuay.
Mr.
He was the
McQuay.
coolest sub we ever had. Because what he would do is he would look at the teacher's lessons plans and be like, I can't teach that. You guys want to watch a movie? And we'd be like, yeah. And
Holy
every
shit.
time the options were Independence Day or Independence Day.
Those were the options.
Well, that's a good option.
Or song.
Oh, fuck. Alright, so I have to go back and listen to episode 34.
Yeah, I have no
too,
idea.
to figure out what the hell that was. Episode 35 was an awesome one because that was actually the introduction to a fellow podcaster on our show, Geek Dig podcast host, Vengeful Jedi. I want to say Geek Cast Live. Holy shit. Can you believe that episode was episode 35 out of 52?
No.
The
Was it
Disney
really?
ones? Yeah. Yeah, so that was fucking madness.
Jesus. What the heck did I do to episode 36?
A
Sorry.
lot.
I don't know. Well, I'll get to it in a minute here.
No,
Holy shit.
Somebody likes rushing ahead.
Like
I'm just
copy,
excited.
copy and pasting previous show notes to the following one. I don't know how many times I've seen that one. Oh, shit. But yeah, that was awesome. Clint was on to do episode 35. If you guys are a fan of raunchy story ideas or people who fuck up Disney childhood movies, check out episode 35. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I mean, you might, but I mean, that's on you, not me. Clint, how you doing? I'm not sure if you're watching this or you're on, but if you are, we all love you. We all appreciate you coming on our show. Episode 36, Rebirth of CJ Standall. This week, this Freakin Crew welcomes back CJ Standall's fantastic creator of Rebirth of a Gangster. We discuss his new issue, the challenges of self-producing a comic book, and his tremendous artist. You can find issues 2 of Rebirth of a Gangster on Kindle for $2 or get the story so far for $3. We were a little fucking up, something below it. This week,
Oh, look at that.
oh,
Where did I even copy that from?
this week, this Freakin Crew did briefs our Indie Comic Con. We also talk about outstanding.
I must have copied that from the original CJ
You
Standall.
did. Way to go, you.
I am such a professional.
CJ, it's always a joy to have you on. Every time you have a brand new comic come out, it's always fun. Episode 37, You Again web series. I love these people.
Oh, yeah,
I
so
really
do
like
I.
them a lot.
I definitely want to get hold of them, have them back on again. And
I watch every episode. It's amazing. It's so
need
funny.
to. I totally forgot to back the Kickstarter. I was going to do it. I didn't.
Colin Dana says hi.
Dana who?
Friend Dana. Chris and Dana.
Oh, aloha!
She helped us move. Remember I showed you that picture
Yeah.
where you wearing the cowboy hat, she wearing the sombrero.
Brought back memories.
Colin says hi, Dana. So I'm going to go ahead and like that too. Because you are being involved in the show. Hey, Becca Spencer's on. Becca, I miss you. I hope everything's well with you. Colin says hi in his own little world.
I don't say hi.
Just out of curiosity for everyone out there, not that I'm complaining or anything, if you hear mouse clicking, let me know. I'm not saying Colin's playing a video game right now. I think he's telegraphing something. So.
I am. You know that how they used to communicate long distances. I'm trying out this new format to do our entire show that way.
Oh shit! Episode 38, freaking week off. This week, the Freakin Crew phones it in. A few months ago, we recorded an hour for an autism charity. This is that podcast. I had a great time doing that.
It was
show.
a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
For how late it was at night.
Episode 38.
Or early in the morning it was. Because wasn't it like 3 in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we recorded at 3 a.m.
That was on the weekend too, right?
Yeah, it was like
Because I
Saturday.
think I remember sleeping in that day.
Yeah, I think we napped for a little bit, and I got up at like 2:30. I made like a huge thing of Death Wish coffee.
Nice.
And we sat there and we did that, so that was a lot of fun. I'm glad we actually got to share that with everyone. And I was glad that Tribute Geeks was able to find our show from fucking July. So that was fun.
Yeah.
Episode 39, another favorite. Leslie Tom was on our show. Country singer from Colorado. Really great artist. She does a lot for the veterans and everything. So if you ever get a chance, find her, Leslie Tom. Literally spelled the way it sounds. You can't fuck it up. I mean, you can, but...
Well, go IE, not Y. It makes it easier.
Yeah, LESLIE. Actually, there's a link to our Facebook page on the show notes for episode 39, so you can go there and do that. You can listen to the show, too. She's really fucking cool. A lot of fun to talk to. She talks about being a single mom and doing what she loves and all that shit, which is pretty cool. So we got to talk about single moms and everything, so that was fun. Episode 40, extra crispy. Editor replaced HTML this week. What?
No idea. I went and I haven't pulled it. It takes you over to Geek Dig for whatever reason, to their episode 100.
This week, the Freakin Crew returns to form with a good old-fashioned Topicast. We discuss Comcast lawsuits, Gen Con, Pavlok, and more.
Pavlok, that's your thing.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell is Letterkenny?
Oh, it's those Canadian guys that are hilarious.
I'm already telling you about them.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you haven't watched them, we should watch them at some point.
Okay. Let's see here. We mentioned Gen Con, Pavlok, Harry Potter, Letterkenny Problems, Geek Dig, 100th episode, and Phantasm.
Phantasm. That wasn't that long ago.
No.
Yep. Episode 41. Fear and Clint, our guests on our show. This week, this Freakin Crew sits down with our old nemesis Clint and Fear from Fifth Cast Podcast Network. Do a battle over our favorite horror movie villains. Oh, that's right. What we like? We took like a top 25 down to the top 10, down to the top 5, and picked our top 1. Yeah, that was 11 episodes ago.
That's bizarre.
Wow. Are you sure we don't do all these episodes in like one day? Because they're all coming
I
back.
don't know. It's weird to think, like, because what I mean, when you put that like 11, what's it, like almost 3 months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Fear was on our episode for the first time 3 months. Yeah.
Right?
Oh my god.
Insane.
I don't know what the fuck we've been doing then.
Right?
Anyway, so yeah, Fear's. I love having Fear on. He's fun as hell. Clint's fun as hell. You know what I mean?
Every one of our guests is fun.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and it wouldn't surprise me too. I mean, like they've been doing this for years now. So, you know, which we've only been, me and Con have only been doing it for a year now. Joey, you're a veteran. I call you a veteran.
All right, I'll take it.
Episode 42, Year of the Boar, and episode 42, this is where Con gave us some 42 facts, so that's kind of fun.
Hey, I remember that
All
one.
right. This week, the Freakin Crew talks many things 42. We also talk about the Olympics, Gen Con 2016, and a lot of fun things. Con and I didn't make Gen Con, but Joey, you did.
I did. It was a blast.
Yeah.
Episode
Blast.
43. This week, Crew records its first live show at Fire Pit Bar and Grill in Peelton, Illinois.
That was my last weekend in town.
That was your last weekend in town.
Wow, man.
We are joined by the owners, Lisa and Ron, to discuss their menu and enjoy their inaugural breakfast menu. It's absolutely amazing. I can't believe that's been that long ago either. Food's
Right?
great. Definitely check out Fire Pit Bar and Grill.
Had it this morning.
Definitely had it this morning.
And you know what makes it even better?
What's that?
Because I can get a fucking mimosa there. And mimosas are just the shit.
They are so good.
Oh, yeah, they are. This freaking show, episode 44, I get the Bloody Marys. I don't get the mimosas. Bloody Marys are also amazing there, which you get them for breakfast every Saturday and Sunday from 7 to 11. But you get them all day, too. They're fucking Bloody Marys. Late Birthday. Sorry for the delay. This week, the Freakin Crew was joined by Vengeful Jedi to BS and recast some of Colin's favorite films as though we were made by Tim Burton, which I was a lot of fun, too.
It was.
Rules of the challenge require creepier storylines and the inclusion of Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter. Which, I don't know. I still believe that it ended up a tie, but I guess if you look at Apple and shit like that, Clint somehow won. Which, I'm still going to protest that.
No, I full-heartedly see that. So.
Goodness gracious.
Episode 45, The Fighting 45th. This week, the Freakin Crew talks haunted houses, Geek Cast Joe's new place, and the upcoming plans.
Joe, you were at your new place.
I was.
And I actually went to Hell's Gate this weekend.
How was it?
It is a lot of fun. It's like Statesville, but a little bit better because with Hell's Gate, you actually have to go to the train station, and they take you on a bus from there to the haunted house. And the haunted house is still in downtown Lockport, but it's in like a wooded area. So when you begin it, you actually have to go through the cemetery part of it, which is absolutely amazing. The deeper you get into the cemetery part, the more fog and everything they have rolling in and everything, which is absolutely amazing to be part of. And then the haunted house, I mean, like, the haunted house part, like, it's pretty much just like Statesville. It's just changed a little bit, but I think it's a lot better than Statesville. You can pay $25 to do the, ready and waiting, I do the $35 for the VIP part, which, you always do the extra $10 for the VIP line.
Right. Do you get your money back? You can make it all the way through?
No. What it is when you get to the end, they put you in this room with a glow stick, and they tell you inside this room there's a key, which is the key to Hell's Gate. If you find it, you get your money back. If you don't find it, you just proceed through and you pay $35. So,
Gotcha.
no, it's not free if you make it all the way through, and it's not scary enough to leave in the middle of it. Episode 46, Later Gator. This week, the freaking crew banters. We talk everything from the difference between crocodiles and alligators and why Connecticut doesn't have internet or cell service. So that seems like that was the downfall of
Yeah.
your
It is the
digital
worst
world.
part. Yep.
Your Digimon digital world.
Digimon.
Episode 47, Predictions Be Damned. Yeah, see how impactful I got there? That was pretty fucking cool. Who are the 3 people still listening to me fucking talk? God, I want to know. I need to know at this point now. This week, the Freakin Crew makes predictions on what films will do well next year. Oh yeah, that's right. This was remakes or sequels?
For Predictions Be Damned?
Yeah.
It was what films next year are going to do well. We did everything except no remakes, no sequels, no horror, I think.
So it was just the originals?
Yeah. Just original films that are coming out next year.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
2007.
Yeah, because we did horror later on with Fear, and next season we're going to do sequels and remakes.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Gotcha. 48. Yeah, I never got this one. MMA.
MMA.
Oh.
MMO?
Well, now I get it. Oh, okay. Joey, sometimes you gotta explain shit to me, man. This week, this Freakin Crew talked with our guy Chris, a mixed martial artist from Peatone area. Technical difficulties kind of mangled the interview, which, you know, it does happen. Doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes it does happen. But luckily, our amazing editor, Derek, who isn't listening to this, so fuck you, Derek. Okay. He does wonders with the fucking editing and shit. Makes everything great. But we still have some great fun in store. And be sure to tune in next month for This Freaky Show, the October podcast, with a little more something and a lot less nothing. I wish I read the show notes because I would have said that in the intros and shit. Gotta keep me in the loop here, Joe.
It's alright. Joe can drop the ball sometimes.
Episode 49, Hilton with a Shotgun. This is the first episode of This Freaky Show.
It was.
Yeah, and we brought Hilton back. So that was pretty cool to kind of get an update from him, what's going on with Zann with a Shotgun. We also talked about a little baseball and the premiere of a new segment, Freaky Tales, which, Joey, we're still going to have you do at the end of this episode, just like you did the last 3 previous episodes. So that was pretty awesome.
Yep.
Let's see here. Dana says, Midnight Terror is really scary. Watch the trailer for it. It's a haunted house. Phil says, just call Graham and put it on speakerphone. What does that mean? Does that mean, like, fucking he could hear me right now through my phone to your phone to his phone? Dana, I'll check out Midnight Terror. Actually, Joe, you want to check out Midnight Terror? Tell me what that's about. Phil, I don't fucking know what you're telling me, Phil.
Midnight
Terror. I appreciate you. Phil McCracken Jr. You don't know Phil McCracken Jr.?
I do not know Phil McCracken.
I'll have him on the show one day. Episode 15.
Oh, it's a haunted house.
Standoff's been. Yeah, it's a haunted house, yes. That means call his ass. I'm not calling him right now. I'm in the middle of a fucking show. I don't like it, though, because you're participating in the conversation. Episode 50, Standoff's back. CJ talks about
Over 60 rooms. What?
What's it called?
Oh, his new issue?
Issue 3. Issue number 3. So that was pretty cool.
I was kind of lost
That
there
was
with
cool.
you, too.
She also reads a short Irish Halloween story, which I wish he could have done that in an Irish accent.
I know, I do too.
But it would have been too Lucky Charmsy.
It really would have been.
And we don't want to insult any Irish listeners.
And finally, the most current, most recent episode is episode 51, Something Fear Something. What?
Something.
Is that exactly what I read it? Something Fear Something?
No, that's just what I said.
That's just it? There's nothing like hidden behind it like
Nope.
This week, the Freakin Crew sits down
No,
with
you
our
know
guy.
what happened was, so we recorded these out of order, right? So we recorded this one, episode 51, like 2 weeks, at the very end of September. And so by the time that I wrote the show notes, I could not remember what the hell the show was about, other than that we had fear on it and that we talked about horror movies a little bit. And so I think I just was like, I can't remember what we wrote about. And so I just basically was like, I think I took it, it's the same line if you replace fear with dark side. I just stole it right out of that Star Wars parody that I can't think of the name of all of a sudden.
Spaceballs?
Yeah, Spaceballs. That's the one.
Never seen it.
It's really good.
Sorry.
It's so good, I totally forgot the name of it.
This week, this Freakin Crew sits
something
down with our
dark
guy,
side,
Fear of
something.
Fifth Cast, discuss our predictions about next year's horror films. You remembered in the description?
Yep. But I forgot about it when I was writing the title. I always do the title first, and then I sit and think about it.
I got you. So, that's all 51 episodes,
Oh, wow.
besides today. Well, I think it's about time we get ready for Freaky Tales.
Oh, shit.
So we'll get that ready and going. And that means that my recording on Facebook is now over. So it was fun hanging out with you guys. And like I said before, use the hashtag Freakin Saying to interact with us. Ask us questions, give us some ideas what you want to talk about, what you want us to talk about on the show. And if you feel you're interested enough to come on our show, we'll have you on and talk and everything.
Or if you're not interesting enough.
So, hey, Justin came on. Justin, how you doing, man? You're a little too late. I'm about ready to fucking leave. Not Justin Snedden. Nah, I know, right? Justin, that was actually on earlier.
He was. I was just curious if he came back.
No, this is Justin Reese. Justin Reese was actually invited to a party that he's not coming to because apparently we'd rather go watch somebody get married instead of hanging out with Travis. But that's cool. I'm not bitter about it in any way. Totally kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this. I'm actually thinking I might be doing this a little more often now next season. We'll see how it goes. Let me know.
It'll be really great when they literally only get your side of the conversation.
Literally only my side. That's what actually I'm hoping for. That's the exciting part of this, is they get me.
Yep. It will just give them more reason to go listen to the actual podcast.
Yeah,
that's very true. There'll be a lot less mouse.
The fun thing is it actually makes as much sense in context as out of context.
I think Travis doesn't like the mouse clicking.
Nah, I don't mind the mouse clicking. I just want to know if any of you happen to hear mouse clicking in the background through this entire conversation.
And if you have, suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah, I mean, Graham, he did the fucking pen clicking through one of his episodes. I wasn't mad about it, but I mean, still. Just like that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for listening on Facebook Live. I am now going to end this, and we're going to continue on through pure recording only Freaky Tales. Take care. All right, Joey, we are now ready for you to take the reins and show us or bring us our final Freaky Tales of the year.
All right, so for our final Freaky Tale of the year, I've chosen The Music of Erich Zann by H.P. Lovecraft.
That's the guy that does Cthulhu, right?
Mm-hmm. So I thought about doing Call of Cthulhu, but that's like a whole novel. So
come on, you should have done it.
20 minutes or less.
Yeah, need the whole episode there.
So... I have examined maps of the city with the greatest care, yet I've never again found the Rue d'Orsay. These maps have not been modern maps alone, for I know that names change. I have, on the contrary, delved deeply into all the antiquities of the place, and have personally explored every region, of whatever name, which could possibly answer to the street I knew as the Rue d'Orsay. But despite all I have done, remains an humiliating fact that I cannot find the house, the street, or even the locality where, during the last months of my impoverished life as a student of metaphysics at the university, I heard the music of Erich Zann. That my memory is broken, I do not wonder, for my health, physical and mental, was gravely disturbed throughout the period of my residence at the Rue d'Orsay. And I recall that I took none of my few acquaintances there, but that I cannot find the place again is both singular and perplexing, for it was within a half-hour's walk of the university, and was distinguished by peculiarities which could hardly be forgotten by anyone who had been there. I have never met a person who has seen the Rue d'Orsay. The Rue d'Orsay lay across a dark river, bordered by precipitous brick, blear-windowed warehouses, and spanned by a ponderous bridge of dark stone. It was always shadowy along that river, as if the smoke of neighboring factories shut out the sun perpetually. The river was also odorous with evil stenches which I have never smelled elsewhere, and which may some day help me to find it, since I should recognize them at once. Beyond the bridge were narrow cobbled streets with rails, and then came the ascent, at first gradual, but incredibly steep as the Rue d'Orsay was reached. I have never seen another street as narrow and steep as the Rue d'Orsay. It was almost a cliff, closed to all vehicles, consisting in several places of flights of steps, and ending at the top in a lofty ivied wall. Its paving was irregular, sometimes stone slabs, sometimes cobblestones, and sometimes bare earth with struggling greenish-gray vegetation. The houses were tall, peak-roofed, incredibly old, and crazily leaning backward, forward, and sideways. Occasionally, an opposite pair, both leaning forward, almost met across the street like an arch. And certainly they kept most of the light from the ground below. There were a few overhead bridges from house to house across the street. The inhabitants of that street impressed me peculiarly. At first, I thought it was because they were all silent and reticent, but later decided it was because they were all very old. I do not know how I came to live on such a street, but I was not myself when I moved there. I had been living in many poor places, always evicted for want of money, until at last I came upon that tottering house in the Rue d'Alcé kept by the paralytic Blandot. It was the third house from the top of the street, and by far the tallest of them all. My room was on the 5th story, the only inhabited room there, since the house was almost empty. On the night I arrived, I heard strange music from the peaked garret overhead, and the next day asked old Blandot about it. He told me it was an old German viol player, a strange dumb man who signed his name Erich Zann, and who played evenings in a cheap theater orchestra, adding that Zann's desire to play in the night after his return from the theater was the reason he had chosen this lofty and isolated garret room, whose single gable window was the only point on the street from which one could look over the terminating wall at the declivity and panorama beyond. Thereafter I heard Zann every night, and although he kept me awake, I was haunted by the weirdness of his music. Knowing little of the art myself, I was yet certain that none of his harmonies had any relation to music I had heard before, and concluded that he was a composer of highly original genius. The longer I listened, the more I was fascinated, until after a week I resolved to make the old man's acquaintance. One night, as he was returning from his work, I intercepted Zann in the hallway and told him that I would like to know him and be with him when he played. He was a small, lean, bent person with shabby clothes, blue eyes, grotesque, satyr-like face, and nearly bald head, and at my first words seemed both angered and frightened. My obvious friendliness, however, finally melted him, and he grudgingly motioned to me to follow him up the dark, creaking, and rickety attic stairs. His room, one of only 2 in the steeply pitched garret, was on the west side toward the high wall that formed the upper end of the street. Its size was very great, and seemed the greater because of its extraordinary bareness and neglect. Of furniture there was only a narrow iron bedstead, a dingy washstand, a small table, a large bookcase, an iron music rack, and 3 old-fashioned chairs. Sheets of music were piled in disorder about the floor. The walls were of bare boards and had probably never known plaster, whilst the abundance of dust and cobwebs made the place seem more deserted than inhabited. Evidently, Erich Zann's world of beauty lay in some far cosmos of the imagination. Motioning me to sit down, the dumb man closed the door, turned the large wooden bolt, and lighted a candle to augment the one he had brought with him. He now removed his viol from its moth-eaten covering, and taking it, seated himself in the least uncomfortable of the chairs. He did not employ the music rack, but offering no choice and playing from memory, enchanted me for over an hour with strains I had never heard before, strains which must have been of his own devising. To describe their exact nature is impossible for one unversed in music. They were a kind of fugue, with recurrent passages of the most captivating quality, but to me they were notable for the absence of any of the weird notes I had overheard from my room below on other occasions. Those haunting notes I had remembered, and had often hummed and whistled inaccurately to myself. So when the player at length laid down his bow, I asked him if he would render some of them. As I began my request, the wrinkled, satyr-like face lost the bored placidity it had possessed during the playing, and seemed to show the same curious mixture of anger and fright which I had noticed when I first accosted the old man. For a moment I was inclined to use persuasion, regarding rather lightly the whims of senility, and even tried to awaken my host's weirder mood by whistling a few of the strains to which I had listened the night before. But I did not pursue this course for more than a moment, for when the dumb musician recognized the whistled air, his face grew suddenly distorted, with an expression wholly beyond analysis, and his long, cold, bony right hand reached out to stop my mouth and silence the crude imitation. As he did this, he further demonstrated his eccentricity by casting a startled glance toward the lone curtained window, as if fearful of some intruder. A glance doubly absurd, since the garret stood high and inaccessible above all the adjacent roofs this window
being the only point on the steep street, as the concierge had told me, from which one could see over the wall at the summit. The old man's glance brought Blandot's remark to my mind, and with a certain capriciousness I felt a wish to look out over the wide and dizzying panorama of moonlit roofs and city lights beyond the hilltop, which of all the dwellers in the Rue d'Aussay only this crabbed musician could see. I moved toward the window and would have drawn aside the nondescript curtains when, with a frightened rage even greater than before, the dumb lodger was upon me again, this time motioning with his head toward the door as he nervously strove to drag me thither with both hands. Now thoroughly disgusted with my host, I ordered him to release me, and told him I would go at once. His clutch relaxed, and as he saw my disgust and offense, his own anger seemed to subside. He tightened his relaxing grip, but this time in a friendly manner, forcing me into a chair. Then, with an appearance of wistfulness, crossing to the littered table, where he wrote many words with a pencil in the labored French of a foreigner. The note which he finally handed me was an appeal for tolerance and forgiveness. Zann said that he was old, lonely, and afflicted with strange fears and nervous disorders connected with his music, and with other things. He had enjoyed my listening to his music, and wished I would come again and not mind his eccentricities. But he could not play to another his weird harmonies, and could not bear hearing them from another, nor could he bear having anything in his room touched by another. He had not known until our hallway conversation that I could overhear his playing in my room, and now asked me if I would arrange with Blandot to take a lower room, where I could not hear him in the night. He would, he wrote, defray the difference in rent. As I sat deciphering the execrable French, I felt more lenient toward the old man. He was a victim of physical and nervous suffering, as was I, and my metaphysical studies had taught me kindness. In the silence there came a slight sound from the window. The shutter must have rattled in the wind, and for some reason I started almost as violently as did Erich Zann. So when I had finished reading, I took my host by the hand and departed as a friend. The next day, Blandot gave me a more expensive room on the 3rd floor, between the apartments of an aged money-lender and the room of a respectable upholsterer. There was no one on the 4th floor. It was not long before I found that Zann's eagerness for my company was not as great as it had seemed when he was persuading me to move down from the 5th story. He did not ask me to call on him, and when I did call, he appeared uneasy and played listlessly. This was always at night. In the day he slept and would admit no one. My liking for him did not grow, though the attic room and the weird music seemed to hold an odd fascination for me. I had a curious desire to look out of that window, over the wall and down the unseen slope, at the glittering roofs and spires which must lie outspread there. Once I went up to the garret during theatre hours when Zann was away, but the door was locked. What I did succeed in doing was to overhear the nocturnal playing of the dumb old man. At first I would tiptoe up to my old 5th floor, then I grew bold enough to climb the last creaking staircase to the peaked garret. There in the narrow hall, outside the bolted door with the covered keyhole, I often heard sounds which filled me with an indefinable dread, the dread of vague wonder and brooding mystery. It was not that the sounds were hideous, for they were not, but that they held vibrations suggesting nothing on this globe of earth, and that at certain intervals they assumed a symphonic quality which I could hardly conceive as produced by one player. Certainly Erich Zann was a genius of wild power. As the weeks passed, the playing grew wilder, whilst the old musician acquired an increasing haggardness and furtiveness pitiful to behold. He now refused to admit me at any time, and shunned me whenever we met on the stairs. Then one night, as I listened at the door, I heard the shrieking viol swell into a chaotic babble of sound, a pandemonium which would have led me to doubt my own shaking sanity had there not come from behind that barred portal a piteous proof that the horror was real. The awful, inarticulate cry which only a mute can utter, and which rises only in moments of the most terrible fear or anguish. I knocked repeatedly at the door, but received no response. Afterward, I waited in the black hallway, shivering with cold and fear, till I heard the poor musician's feeble effort to rise from the floor by the aid of a chair. Believing him just conscious after a fainting fit, I renewed my rapping, at the same time calling out my name reassuringly. I heard Zann stumble to the window and close both shutter and sash, then stumble to the door, which he falteringly unfastened to admit me. This time his delight at having me present was real, for his distorted face gleamed with relief while he clutched at my cloak as a child clutches at his mother's skirts. Shaking pathetically, the old man forced me into a chair whilst he sank into another, beside which his viol and bow lay carelessly on the floor. He sat for some time inactive, nodding oddly, but having a paradoxical suggestion of intense and frightening listening. Subsequently, he seemed to be satisfied, and, crossing to a chair by the table, wrote a brief note, handed it to me, and returned to the table, where he began to write rapidly and incessantly. The note implored me in the name of mercy, and for the sake of my own curiosity, to wait where I was while he prepared a full account in German of all the marvels and terrors which beset him. I waited, and the dumb man's pencil flew. It was perhaps an hour later, while I still waited, and while the old musician's feverishly written sheets still continued to pile up, that I saw Zann start as from the hint of a horrible shock. Unmistakably, he was looking at the curtained window and listening shudderingly. Then I half fancied I heard a sound myself, though not a horrible sound, but rather an exquisitely low and infinitely distant musical note, suggesting a player in one of the neighboring houses, or in some abode beyond the lofty wall over which I had never been able to look. Upon Zann the effect was terrible, for dropping his pencil, suddenly he rose, seized his viol, and commenced to rend the night with the wildest playing I had ever heard from his bow, save when listening at the barred door. It would be useless to describe the playing of Erich Zann on that dreadful night. It was more horrible than anything I had ever overheard, because I could now see the expression of his face, and could realize that this time the motive was stark fear. He was trying to make a noise, to ward something off or drown something out. What, I could not imagine, awesome though I felt it must be. The playing grew fantastic, delirious, and hysterical, yet kept to the last the qualities of supreme genius which I knew the strange old man possessed. I recognized the air. It was a wild Hungarian dance, popular in the theaters, and I reflected for a moment that this was the first time I had ever heard Zann play the work of another composer. Louder and louder, wilder and wilder, mounted the shrieking and whining of that desperate viol. The player was dripping with an uncanny perspiration and twisted like a monkey, always looking frantically at the curtained window. In his frenzied strains I could almost see shadowy satyrs and bacchanals dancing and whirling insanely through seething abysses of clouds and smoke and lightning. And then I thought I heard a shriller, steadier note that was not from the viol, a calm, deliberate, purposeful, mocking note from far away in the west. At this juncture the shutter began to rattle in a howling night wind, which had sprung up outside as if in answer to the mad playing within. Zann's screaming viol now outdid itself, emitting sounds I had never thought a viol could emit. The shutter rattled more loudly, unfastened, and commenced slamming against the window. Then the glass broke shiveringly under the persistent impacts, and the chill wind rushed in, making the candles sputter and rustling the sheets of paper on the table where Zann had begun to write out his horrible secret. I looked at Zann, and saw that he was past conscious observation. His blue eyes were bulging, glassy and sightless, and the frantic playing had become a blind, mechanical, unrecognizable orgy that no pen could ever suggest. A sudden gust, stronger than the others, caught up the manuscript and bore it toward the window. I followed the flying sheets in desperation, but they were gone before I reached the demolished panes. Then I remembered my old wish to gaze from this window, the only window in the Rue d'Aussay, from which one might see the slope beyond the wall, and the city outspread beneath. It was very dark, but the city's lights always burned, and I expected to see them there amidst the rain and wind. Yet when I looked from that highest of all gable windows, looked while the candles sputtered and the insane viol howled with the night wind, I saw no city spread below, and no friendly lights gleaming from remembered streets. but only the blackness of space illimitable, unimagined space alive with motion and music, and having no semblance to anything on earth. And as I stood there, looking in terror, the wind blew out both the candles in that ancient peaked garret, leaving me in savage and impenetrable darkness, with chaos and pandemonium before me, and the demon madness of that night-baying viol behind me. I staggered back in the dark, without the means of striking a light, crashing against the table, overturning a chair, and finally groping my way to the place where the blackness screamed with shocking music. To save myself and Erich Zann, I could at least try whatever the powers opposed to me. Once I thought some chill thing brushed me, and I screamed, but my scream could not be heard above that hideous viol. Suddenly, out of the blackness, the madly sawing bow struck me, and I knew I was close to the player. I felt a head, touched the back of Zann's chair, and then found and shook his shoulder in an effort to bring him to his senses. He did not respond, and still the viol shrieked on without slackening. I moved my hand to his head, whose mechanical nodding I was able to stop, and shouted in his ear that we must both flee from the unknown things of the night. But he neither answered me nor abated the frenzy of his unutterable music, while all through the garret strange currents of wind seemed to dance in the darkness and the babel. When my hand touched his ear, I shuddered, though I knew not why till I felt of the still face, the ice-cold, stiffened, unbreathing face whose glassy eyes bulged uselessly into the void. And then, by some miracle finding the door and the large wooden bolt, I plunged wildly away from that glass-eyed thing in the dark, and from the ghoulish howling of that accursed viol, whose fury increased even as I plunged. Leaping, floating, flying down those endless stairs through the dark house, racing mindlessly out into the narrow, steep, and ancient street of steps and tottering houses, clattering down steps and over cobbles to the lower streets and the putrid canyon-walled river, panting across the great dark bridge to the broader, healthier streets and boulevards we know. All these are terrible impressions that linger with me, and I recall that there was no wind, and that the moon was out, and that all the lights of the city twinkled. Despite my most careful searches and investigations, I have never since been able to find the Rue d'Alsace. But I am not wholly sorry, either for this or for the loss in undreamable abysses of the closely written sheets, which alone could have explained the music of Erich Zann.
Okay. That's a good story there, Joe.
Thank you.
Now, what was the name of that?
The music of Erich Zann.
And who was that by?
H.P. Lovecraft.
Perfect. If you want to find that story, I'm sure Joe can put it in the show notes for you and everything. Joey, I like that segment. I love that we ever do that all month long and everything. Obviously, we're going to continue to do that every October.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe somewhere down the road, we could include that segment again on the show.
Yeah.
Because you have that voice that people want to hear.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's fun to do. I have a lot of fun doing that.
I got a lot of fun listening to you, man. I mean, I don't fucking read for shit, but I'll sit there and listen to you fucking.
Oh, yeah. It's like getting one of those audiobooks. You listen to it on the way to work.
Oh, shit. Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
What you freaking on this week?
Oh, boy. Probably the wedding that we just went to yesterday. It was a very cool wedding. It was for a friend of ours from college. But the thing that made it really awesome was that it was Greek Orthodox. And so we got to go to a Greek Orthodox church and hear things in the actual Greek language and check out all the icons and stuff on the walls. And it was a lot of fun. And it was really, really very cool to see how they do things. So that's what I'm freaking on this week.
That's cool.
How about you, Colin?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, as you guys know, but our listeners might not know, I just got back from Seattle yesterday. And I gotta say, by far, It's been one of the best vacations I've had in a long time. It was one that you were gone for a while, but every single day lasted a long time. And I was able to do so much and fun things. I mean, it wasn't boring by far at all. And I absolutely loved that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Because usually you have the time, oh, yeah, you could do that. It's boring, and so that's what makes it drag. And when you're doing fun things, it makes it go by really quick.
Yeah.
But no, this month was awesome, or this week was awesome. It
That's
did
great,
fun
man.
things, and it went by slow.
That's the best when that happens.
Oh, yeah. Definitely, I'd say. Travis, what about you?
Well, with the season finale here and gone, I'm going to take some time to get together some new guests for next year.
Sweet.
I'm going to do that. I actually just bought the WWE 2K17 game, so it's my first wrestling game I bought since I owned a PS2.
I'm going to say a long time.
So playing that, getting involved in that, so that's a lot of fun. But mostly, just trying to figure out what we're going to do next week for the new season and next 51 after that. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be exciting. Like I said, we do got returning guests from this season who want to come back next season, such as Super Casey. I know CJ's going to want to come back. We're going to get, hopefully, other friends from Geek Cast Live back on again.
Yeah.
Obviously, Fear and Clint and all that. Get back, talk more movies and geekery. About
Yeah,
that
get
and
Nick
everything.
over here at some point.
Nico?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I actually even talked to that guy, but I would love to have him come on.
Right?
Also, I'm still trying to get this whole other podcast up and running with DJ and Alan. We got to talk about that. It's just apparently it's a lot harder to do it than I thought. So, but I did it once. It should be a cakewalk. Do it again, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Mm-hmm.
So, but hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Every Thursday, our listeners catch Geek Cast Joe here on this freaking show. But where can they find him on Saturdays?
On Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, you can find me over the Geek Cast Live podcast at geekcastlivepodcast.com/podcast. Or if you don't want to remember that horribly long URL, just go to gcl.ninja. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and SoundCloud by searching Geek Cast Live.
Okay.
I don't know, kind of sounded like you were about to say something, so I was gonna wait.
No.
Okay.
Just listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find This Freaking Show just by going to our website, thisfreakingshow.com. We are on SoundCloud. No, we're not. Geekcast Live is.
Yep.
But we are on Stitcher, Podbean, and Google Play. We're also on iTunes just by searching This Freaking Show. If you go to iTunes and find us, give us a 5-star review. Let us know what you feel about us. Obviously, if it's good, we want to hear about it. If it's bad, keep it to yourself. Don't be dicks. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram just by searching This Freaking Show. And also use the hashtag Freaking Sand to get in touch with us and interact with us. Like we want to do in Season 1, and we're going to try and push it on Season 2 even harder, is to get local bands to promote themselves through our shows by playing their songs at the end of our episodes. So if you know of a local band who wants to get involved and get their name out there, let us know. We'll contact them. We'll get some information from them. We'll play their songs and plug their information and stuff to help better broaden their listening area, whatever the fuck it's called. As always, I am Travesty.
I'm Awkward Cow.
And I'm Geek Cast Joe.
Thank you for joining us in Season 1 of This Freaking Show. I'm out.